What is up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. And today, what we are going to do, you see it on YouTube, but if not, I'll go over it anyways. Went over fantasy, as per usual. We're going to review, actually, I did not fully update, but review today's USHL game. Technically, it was yesterday because I'm recording this after 12 my time, but still going to say it today. And then let me update this, and then review yesterday's NHL games. That's the plan. And then we're gonna look at every single NHL team's salary cap and contracts. So yeah, we're gonna do that. I forgot to do my predictions today because I'm not used to having to do them in the morning of the day of the games. But we're gonna start doing that tomorrow. I'm just not used to it. I completely forgot about it because I'm not used to that. But fine, we'll do that tomorrow. Starting back up tomorrow, so it's fine. That's why I'm not going over predictions. Yeah, to get into it. In my description, all my social medias, X/Twitter, whatever you want to call it, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that. My Discord, my Twitch Discord, my Spotify, my USHL discussion Facebook group with about 5.2 thousand USHL fans, a group that I made myself. Then another Facebook group that's called Saints for Life, with about 1,000 to be fluent Saints fans. Paragraph and a half of who I am and what I do in this podcast, all the stuff you need to know about this podcast. Another paragraph, you have how to contact me if you have any comment, question, concerns about this podcast. All that and much more is in the description of this podcast episode and previous ones, to check it out. But if you haven't already, subscribe to this podcast if you like this episode. If you like this podcast, following it on Spotify, the same thing. Like this episode if you like this episode in particular. Liking the specific podcast episode on Spotify, the same thing. And then turn post notifications on the YouTube channel if you want to know every single time I go live and or upload a video on this channel. So yeah, so we gotta do for shout outs. And then now it's in the fantasy. So there's 4 teams in the winners bracket. We are in the playoffs. It started March 17th and it ends technically today because it's after 12 my time, but we'll say tomorrow. So yeah, first round, the winner. There's 4 teams in the winners bracket. Whoever wins each of the matchups will play in the second round of the championship, which is next round. And then so I'm the 4 seed, so I'm the last team in the winners bracket. And then I'm facing the number 1, and the number 2, number 3 are facing. I was winning the first 7 days, which is weeks. So I was winning the first week, and then now I've been losing the past week. So yeah, I'm currently 244.7 to 208. It's basically over at this point since we only have 1 day. But my top performers are Jake Gunsel, Burden Point, Brock Besser. A lot of those top performers who I'm facing, in case you didn't know: Nico Hischier, Jordan Bennington, Jackson LaCoe. And then the Boldy and Salmon Slayers are playing to see who will face the winner of my matchup in the championship. Salmon Slayers is winning 272.4 to 199.3. Salmon Slayers is stacking them all week, continuing to do so. Salmon Slayers top performers: Phil Gessler, Syndicated Kucherov, Dylan Holloway. The Boldy's top performers is Matt Boldy. That makes sense. JT Million, Philip Forsberg. There's also a consolation bracket with 3 matchups. Starting with the Toronto Maple Leafs and versus Daniels Darren team, to which Toronto Maple Leafs is winning that matchup 274.5 to 187.1. Daniels Darren team's top performer: John Tavares, Aiden Hill, Rope Hens. Toronto Maple Leafs top performer: Jake Andre, Austin Matthews, Adam Fox. And then Glizzy's playing just a scary team, and Glizzy is winning that matchup 171.7 to 123.4. Glizzy's top performers are Vasilevsky, Nathan Kadri, Justin Falk. Just a scary team performance is Jared McCann, Evan Bouchard, Kevin Fiala, and then Taco's playing Steve Smart team, which Steve Smart team is winning that matchup 152.8 to 137.9. Steve Smart team top performers are Jack Eichel, Will Nylander, Rasmus Anderson. Taco top performers are Connor, Jordan Carew, Travis, and Akane. Since we did that, let's go review today's USHL games. Youngstown Phantoms complete the sweep of Fargo Forest. Both teams scored 3 goals in the first period, and then Phantoms get the only other 2 goals throughout the game in the third period. Starts at 24 apiece. Youngstown goes 1 for 7 on the power play. Fargo Forest is 0 for 5 on the power play. Great penalty kill from both teams. Terrible power play. Very even matchup from start to finish. Yeah, but Youngstown able to get the win. Madison Capitals, their second straight night, defeat Muskegon in Muskegon. They Capitals were 4 for 5 in the power play. Muskegon was 1 for 3 in the power play. Phenomenal power play from Madison. Not so good penalty kill from Muskegon. Just a 45-31 in favor of Muskegon. 43 saves on 45 shots against from. Let me see. I'm gonna assume Caleb Heil, but it might be AJ Wright. That track here. I'm loading up the USHL in case you wonder what I'm doing. That's yeah. Let me see here. It is. I don't know if that's any of their goals. Okay. It was Caleb Heil. He's been on fire, dude. The whole Capital team's been on fire as of late, but he's been a key contributor to that. Diego Johnson gets a pair of goals as well. The Tri-City Storm defeat the Omaha Rangers in Tri-City 3-1. Shot to 38-20 in favor of Tri-City. Omaha was 0 for 2 in the power play. Tri-City was 0 for 4. And with that win and the Des Moines loss, we'll get to in a minute, the Tri-City Storm has officially clinched a playoff spot in the 2024 Clark Cup Finals. And with that being said, the Western Conference playoff teams are set. The Western Conference playoff teams are the Lincoln Stars, Sioux Falls Stampede, Waterloo Blackhawks, Sioux City Musketeers, Fargo Force, and the Tri-City Storm. The two teams that have not made the playoffs of the Western Conference that are officially eliminated are the Des Moines Buccaneers and the Omaha Lancers. There's one team yet to be confirmed for the Eastern Conference, and that is Cedar Rapids. Actually, there's two teams that have yet to be confirmed from the Eastern Conference: Cedar Rapids, Green Bay. Are the two teams that are in right now that have not clinched, and then the other two teams that are trying to trace them are Team USA and Chicago Steel. But the four teams that have clinched out of the Eastern Conference are the Big Fighting Saints, Madison Capitals, Muskegon Lumberjacks, and Youngstown Phantoms. So yeah, the other four are trying to battle it out for one of those two playoff spots. Cedar Rapids did overtake Green Bay today. Green Bay lost in overtime to Dubuque, which I'll get to in a minute. And Cedar Rapids 7-1 win yesterday. So yeah, and Cedar Rapids pretty sure won again today, but into that. Sioux City Musketeers take care of business 5-3 on the road in Chicago. Chicago 1 for 3 in the power play. Musketeers go 0 for 3 in the power play. Shot 32-22 in favor of Sioux City. Huge, great game for Sioux City overall. Top to bottom, really deserved that win, and they were able to pull out the win in Chicago. The Saints were trailing for most of the game. They're able to come back late to win this game in overtime, such as 29-20 in favor of Dubuque. Both teams were 1 for 3 in the power play. Belzelos gets a pair of goals, almost gets the overtime winner, but doesn't. And then Dubuque goes down and scores. Gavin Cornforth, of course, to get the job done in overtime. That was his team leading 25th goal of the season. He's been ridiculous for the Saints. Saints comeback win, showing the resilience of the Saints this year out of the Eastern Conference. Lincoln Stars take care of business 6-2 over the Des Moines Buccaneers. Lincoln goes 1 for 3 in the power play. Des Moines goes 1 for 2. 36-24 in favor of Lincoln. Great game from Lincoln overall, and that game helped Tri-City clinch playoff spot. Team USA U18 take down Waterloo 3-1 on the road, to 25-30 in favor of Waterloo. Both teams go 0 for 2 on the power play. Dylan Compton gets a lone goal for Waterloo on the night. 29 saves on 30 shots against for Patrick Quinlan. Great game from Patrick Quinlan in net for Team USA. 22 saves and 24 shots against for and Brian Hendrickson. Not too shabby performance for him. Cedar Rapids takes down Team USA 6-4 in the sweep of the weekend series. Team USA U17 was 0 for 3 in the power play. Cedar Rapids did not capitalize on a long power play opportunity. 34-19 in favor of Cedar Rapids. Great game from Cedar Rapids all around. They're getting pretty hot, and they overtake Green Bay for 5th place. They're trying to, might as well. I mean, you're going to play one of the combination of Dubuque, Madison, Muskegon, and Youngstown, so. And if you get the 5 seed, you're going to play the worst of them. Whatever team finishes out the rest of the season worse. So that's the team you'd probably want to play out of those 4. Whoever finished out the season worst, right? So if you're trying, that's what they're fighting for at that point. We never know. There's a million different scenarios and what team they could play and how this Eastern Conference race would go out there. But the top four is it's like all like 2 or 3 points next to each other. Like number 1 and number 4 are all at like 2 or 3 points apart out of the East right now. Actually, ridiculous how close they are right now. Yeah, that's that game. Tomorrow's USHL Sunday, so we'll break that down more in depth. What's going on with that? But yesterday's 6 NHL games. Let's go over it here. Panthers and Brad Marchand's debut get the job done. The Thoughts are 32-14 in favor of Florida. They definitely deserve to win that game for sure. And Brad Marchand assists Sam Bennett on his second of the night for the overtime winner. Marchand had a pretty impactful game. 13 saves on 14 shots against for Sergei Bobrovsky. 30 saves and 32 shots against for Karl Vejmelka. Not quite enough. And the Panthers win at home 2-1 in overtime. So yeah. And before I move on there, I gotta say Sam Renzel and Oliver Moore, 2 of the Chicago Blackhawks top prospects, are now officially signed to the Chicago Blackhawks, and they are expected to make their debut this year. From Minnesota to Chicago, Sam Renzel is a 6'4" defenseman who's really good. He's pretty good on defense, but he's a really good offensive playmaker, good puck mover. My goodness. He's a good skater. He's agile, and he's able to make plays out of nothing. And Oliver Moore is good at face-offs. It's great at both ends of the ice. Two-way forward, speedy playmaker, and that will complement Bedard really well because Bedard's more of a guy that you can give me the puck, I can make a play for myself if I want, but also setting me up. I will score a lot of times on the toe drag release. That's what he does a lot. But Oliver Moore is the type of guy he's really good on face-offs, which Bedard needs. Really good on defense, which also complement Bedard because Bedard is developing his defensive game. So Oliver Moore is already pretty developed in that aspect. Will help out Bedard a lot. Him being really, really fast and really, really good at playmaking, really good vision, really good hockey IQ will all really complement Bedard well. I think they'll fit together really well. And Sam Renzel also is a good playmaker that will complement both of them. So I think that these 2 huge signings for the Blackhawks, just not only just for this year, but because they're so young and they're good prospects. So yeah. Canadians take on the Hurricanes in Carolina. Hurricanes take care of business 4-1 at home. They go down 1-0, so a 4 unanswered to get the job done. Taylor Hall is red hot right now. I'm not gonna lie. I'm pretty sure he had 5 points in his last 3 games or something like that. If I remember correctly, I saw a post on that the other day. But yeah, really impressive for him. But yeah, moving on to the Canucks and Blue Jackets. Canucks had the lead. They blew it. They lost 7-6 in a shootout to Columbus, and now they slide over the Canadiens for the second wildcard spot out of the East right now. I want to see how that ends out. That's going to be really interesting to see how that goes. But the Winnipeg Jets host the New Jersey Devils, even though they get outshot 24-19. Connor Hellebuyck gets a 24-save shutout to continue him trying to get a Hart Trophy this year. So I think that would be great. Jets start out really, really good. Scored 2 goals in the first minute and 52 seconds, and then they do not blow the lead there. Speaking of blowing the lead, the Rangers go up 4-2 over the Ducks, and then they ended up letting them come back, scoring 3 unanswered goals, including Mason McTavish's 20th goal of the season for the overtime winner. Ducks make a 4-2 down comeback to win 5-4 in overtime. And take a look at the teams. Every team's salary cap. This is via Puckpedia. If you want to look at it, check out there. So the Anaheim Ducks have $16 million in projected cap space right now. So yeah, they're actually kind of loaded up right now. Troy Terry's on $7 million. He's locked up for 4 more years and a $7 million contract right now. Troy Terry. Yeah, most of the guys are actually locked. Frank Vatrano got locked up. That's actually huge though when they did that not too long ago. Let's look at the draft picks though. So this year, okay, so this year they have 1 first round pick, 1 second round pick, 2 third-round picks, a 4th-round pick, 2 5th-round picks, a 6th, and a 7th-round pick. And then next year they have a 1st, a 2nd, and a 3rd-round pick, no 4th-round pick. And then a 1st, 1, 5th, 6th, and 7th pick. And then in 2027 they have a 1st-round pick, 2 2nd-round picks, a 3rd-round pick, no 4th-round picks again, 5th, a 6th, and a 7th-round pick. So they're looking pretty good in the draft, actually. Like, they're looking pretty, like, set up right now when it comes to that. So they have good drafts. So if they ever do want to make trades when it comes to, like, acquiring a player for, like, a good, decent player, they have draft picks, but they're probably going to use it to draft more players to try to complete the rebuild, especially this year. But I don't know. Looking pretty good, though. Looking pretty good overall. And they have a lot of cap space to use. So if they wanted to make a move this offseason for free agents, or wanted to make a big trade, or do something like that, they have the money to do that. So that's huge for the Ducks. All right, so the Boston Bruins here, they only have a $764,000 projected cap space, so they basically have no money really left to spend, which is not good if they look in the projection they're going right now. They look like they're honestly probably going to go in a rebuild pretty soon. They traded Brad Marchand already, losing a lot of games. It look like they're trying to get a better draft pick, as good of a draft pick they can this year. They're really heading in the direction of like rebuild territory, but with less than $1 million to spend. What free agents are like at this point? You really just selling, like you're trading your team away. At this point, like that's the projection going at right now. This year they have a 1 draft pick for every single round and 2 for a two second round picks. So, and then the 2026 they have 2 first round picks, 1 pick in the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th round, 0 in the 5th, and then 1 in 6th and 7th. And then in 2027 they have a 1st round pick, 2 second round picks, 0 3rd round picks, and then 1 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th round pick. So yeah, that's interesting. So yeah, the Bruins are probably gonna have to next year is probably only gonna start selling some of the pieces off, and probably look in the rebuild direction right now. We'll look at the depth chart right now, maybe. Okay, I was about to say what the heck. All right. I'm going to look at the lineups here and see who they could really trade this next season. Zaka, they could look to trade. He's 27. Like, we could trade him, but he has 2 years left in his contract, so they probably want to keep him. Geeky, he'd probably be gone. Well, he's a RFA, so he's probably going to leave this year. They're either going to re-sign him and trade him. Yeah, he's probably just going to leave this year. Pasternak's 6 years left in his 8-year contract. Kuzin, I don't know how to say that name, but Kuzin Nadidov, you always say that. Spelled KHUSNUTDINOV. I don't know, but he's gonna be an RFA this past year, but they'll probably lock him up since he's top 6 and he's only 22. So yeah, he's pretty promising. Elias Lindholm, yeah, he probably would be traded realistically if they can get a good package for him. But I don't know. We'll have to see that. Luther will probably stay for next year because he has 1 year left on his contract and he's only 22, so probably gonna keep him around. Kopke had a pretty good year this year for what he's for a bottom six. He's pretty good year. Middlestad might be flipped. You could probably get something pretty decent out of him. Casey Middlestad will probably be flipped. Lettery, I always say that. Will also probably leave this year because he's UFA. Luco, also an RFA. They might sign him. We'll see. Beecher is also RFA. And Brown is a UFA. Beecher, they might want to sign because he's only 23. He might be there long term. They might not sign him to a long-term contract necessarily right away, but he'll probably be there for the long term. Because he's only 23. He's actually doing pretty decent at bottom 6. But on the defense, Zadorov has 5 years left in a 6-year contract. Rokuro, who's actually a UFA, so he's only 25. I don't know. We'll see what they do with that. Laurie is an RFA after the season. They might sign him up because he's also only 24. Peak has 1 year left in his contract. He's year 2 of 3. Witherspoon is also a UFA, so I let him walk. He's 27. And then Mitchell is also RFA. He's 26. And so, yeah, it's McAvoy and IR. So, but then Swayman has 7 years left on his contract, and Korpisalo has 3 years left on contract. So, both the goalies are locked up for 3 years, and then Swayman's locked up for 7. The Buffalo Sabres have about $6.6 million in projected cap space. So you could do something like that. Like if they wanted to make a news and free agency to like really bolster up this roster and try to make a playoff push next season, they're able to do that. But it wouldn't be somebody that's super, super excellent, but it's somebody that could probably play in like the middle six if they get pretty lucky. Maybe top six if they get really lucky. Not impossible. I mean, this year they have at least one pick in every single round, including 2 in the fourth and 3 in the seventh. So they could flip a couple of their seventh round picks and a fourth round pick for a higher draft pick. If they wanted to. Then they have in 2026 they have 1 first round pick, 0 in the second, and then 1 in every other round after the second round, including 2 in the fourth. And then they have 1 pick in every single round in the 2027 draft. So, I mean, yeah, let's look at the depth chart for a second because I'm curious because, like, what is going on with the team? If you look at that, Zach Benson, I'm pretty impressed with Zach Benson. He's 19 years old. He's developing really good. He's very skilled, very good. Heath Thompson's super good. He has 5 years left on his contract. Kulich is pretty good too. But that Ryan McLeod, JJ Pachuca, and Jack Quinn line is actually really, really good. I'm really impressed with that line, especially today. They performed really well. But all of them are expiring contracts. Pachuca's an RFA. The Sabres have to re-sign him. I am super impressed with JJ Pachuca. His slick moves, his puck handling, his playmaking ability. You need to sign somebody like that. He's only 23 and you need to sign him. Ryan McLeod's only 25, playing middle 6 minutes. Lock him up if you can. And Jack Quinn's also 23, playing by middle 6 minutes, who's going to continue to develop. So the 3 guys you really, really, really like to re-sign, especially JJ Pachuca, in my opinion. That one, you need to sign somebody like JJ Pachuca, lock him up on a preferably like mid to long-term contract. I wouldn't say necessarily need to go on a long-term contract, but you need to sign him up for at least a few years, just kind of get him under contract, not have to deal with that in the future. Duke is a UFA. Krebs 1 year left in his contract. So does Tuck. Tuck might actually be traded. Honestly, it depends what direction Buffalo wants to go. Mallenstein has 1 year left on his deal. Kozak is a RFA, and Rosen has 1 year left on his contract. Power has 6 years left on his contract. Bernard Docker's a RFA. Bone Byram's a RFA. Clifton has 1 year left on his deal. Steve Mills has 5 years left on his deal. Bryson is a UFA. Pachuca is 4 years. Lehkonen has 4 years on his contract. James Reimer is a UFA this year. Okay, so and Norris is also locked up for 5 more years, and Jolene's locked up for 7 more years. That's huge for them. So if they do end up losing one of Ryan McLeod, JJ Pachuca, Jack Quinn, they do have Josh Norris there. Kind of try to replace him. Josh Norris is only 25 in himself, so I don't know. You like to sign them all, but I don't know. Calgary Flames. The Calgary Flames is $18 million in projected cap space right now. The Flames might make some moves this year. Like, I'm not going to lie, they might. This year, they also have 2 first round picks, a second, a third, no fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh. And then 2026, they also have 2 first round picks, a first, 1 second, 2 thirds, and a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh. And then in 2027, they have 1 draft pick in every round. So really, I mean, they have draft capital to trade. They keep or whatever draft people with. They also have like $16 million in cap space. So they have a lot of room to work with, the Flames. So if they want to make a couple free agent signings this year, trade some draft picks, keep the draft picks and make some good picks. Whatever they want to do, they have the ability to do really whatever they want to do with the projected. Because they're also looking to try to make the playoff this year, and that would be huge for the development of the young guys, especially Justin Wolf as a starting goaltender. The Hurricanes are actually minus $355,950 in cap space right now. They currently have 3.3 million, but they're projected to be under the salary cap, so they don't have any room to make any free agent signings. Let's look at the draft capital to see what they're able to trade. If they look to make a trade, they have 1 first round pick this year, 0 second round picks, a 1 pick for the third, 3, 4, 6, and 7th round, but 0 in the 5th. And then next year they have 2 first round picks, which could be good for draft capital if they would look to make a trade. A 2nd and a 3rd round pick, no 4th or 5th, a 2 6th and a 7th for 2026. And in 2027, they have a 1st and a 2nd round pick, 2 3rd round picks, a 4th, a 5th, a 6th, and a 7th round pick. So they have some draft capital if they would like to make a trade eventually to get somebody that they really need. But they're against the wall when it comes to salary cap, so I don't know how they're going to be able to do that. They're going to have to bank on making some really good draft picks to kind of make up for the guys that they might have to lose due to the salary cap constraints that they have. They're really banking on making a bit of a run this year, just because strictly of the fact that they don't have any salary cap. And they don't want to make a trade because, first of all, the salary cap's not going to let them do that a lot of times. Second of all, they have decent draft capital, but I don't know if it's good enough to make a big trade. But this year, Cedro has 7 years left on his contract. So does Sebastian Aho. Jackson Blake has a year left on his contract, which he needs to have a big year next year if he wants to be signed. Which right now, the way he's looking right now, he should be reset. Either be re-signed with the Hurricanes or signed somewhere else pretty easily. He'll get a good contract, especially since he's only a $905,000 contract right now. Which, if you think about it right now, with the salary cap that the Hurricanes have right now, they're probably going to lose Hall. He's going to have to take some sort of pay cut this year because he's expiring contract this year, which he'll probably end up leaving Carolina. It's probably just a rental. So Taylor Hall will get off the books. That's $6 million right there. That's his contract. It's probably not his exact salary cap, but that's off the books there. So Jackson Blake and after next year, will likely get re-signed with the extra money that they have. Jesper Kotkaniemi's locked up for 5 more years. Roslovic's also a pending UFA right now, so he might walk. Hurricanes might sign him to a 1 or 2 year deal just to hey, come on, stay on for a little bit. But he's pretty good middle 6 goal scorer. But we have to see what they want to do there. Marner signed up 2 more years after this year. Same thing with Jordan Stahl. 1 year after this with Stan Kelvin. He's only $814,000 contract, so that's going to be a hefty cost if they want to re-sign him after next year. Robertson's a pending UFA, and Wowski has 1 year left after next year is his last year on his contract. He's only getting paid $800,000. And Sneshikov has 4 years left, a $7.75 million contract, which he's not playing like he's trying to earn that right now. He's really not. Slavin's last year is this year, so they might have to let him walk. But they don't have anybody else that's really leaving. I mean, the only guy that's really leaving right now, the pending UFA, Taylor Hall, and he's $6 million off the book. $6 million contract. And Robertson's $150,000. But besides that, they don't have the money for Slavin because Slavin's probably gonna want $8 million probably because how much people are getting paid now. He's probably gonna want $8 million at least. Probably 7 or 8 million at least. I would accept because he's getting paid $5.3 million right now. He want a bit of a raise for how he can 25 minutes a night and play lockdown defense. Probably the best defensive defenseman in the league while putting up probably pretty decent numbers. You want somebody like that in your team, so he's going to want back. He might take a bit of a pay cut to stay with this team, but we're going to see. Brent Burns is also a pending UFA, so one of them's going to have to walk. Brent Burns is probably going to walk. So that's going to be interesting. Orlov's also a pending UFA. He's getting paid $7.75 million. So that Brent Burns and Orlov leaving, they might let one of them walk, use the money from them and Taylor Hall to sign Jacob Slavin, and then the other one, they might have to let them both walk because if they use the money from one of the 2 defensemen that's expiring, which will probably end up being Dmitry Orlov. Let him walk. That's about $7.75 million off your contract. You'll make him take a pay cut, whatever one. And Taylor Hall, that combined would be about $13.7 million of the contract. So yeah, that should be able to good enough for Slavin. And if Brent Burns takes about a little under what he's getting paid right now, about $4 million, they can sign up. They can re-sign Slavin and Brent Burns, which would be actually huge in that situation. Chatfield locked up for Chatfield and Gossifer locked up for 2 years after this year, and Walker signed up for 4 years after this year. Frederick Anderson's also UFA, but they might just let him walk, maybe, possibly, and just let Kochetkov take the starting role full time. We'll have to see. Justice Fast is also $2.4 million. That who's an LTIR, who's gonna have to come back on the books right now. And then Foss, Carrier, and Morrow is also there. Carrier is locked up for 5 more years. Yost is expiring. Just let him walk, and he's not that valuable. Blackhawks currently have $37 million in cap space, but projected to have about $3.897 million. But yes, some room to do something if they want, but realistically, probably not. But this year, they have 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, a third-round pick, 2 fourth-round picks, 0 fifth, a 6th, and a 7th. Next year, they have 2 first-round picks, 3 second-round picks, a third-round pick, a fourth-round pick, no fifth-round picks, a 6th-round pick, and a 7th-round pick. In 2027, they have a first-round pick, 2 second-round picks, a third-round pick, 0 fourth-round picks, a 5th, a 6th, and a 7th-round pick. So they have really, really good draft capital, which is huge. For a team that's rebuilding, they need that type of draft capital. They're tanking for like a top 3 pick this year, which would be huge for them. And they have 2 first-round picks, which I believe it's Tampa Bay's pick from the Brendan Hagel trade. Who's Brendan Hagel? I don't know if he's worth like even 2 first-round picks or whatever they gave us. I'm Blackhawks fan, that's why I said us, by the way. But Betty is a year left on his rookie contract after this year. So in 2 years, when he gets the extension, he's gonna want the bag. He's probably gonna want like $9 million. Honestly, depends how he plays next year. If he plays super, super good next year, he's gonna want the bag, and he's gonna get the bag. Whoever wants to pay him, it's gonna likely be the Blackhawks. They're gonna make it. They're gonna make it work. And then, if he plays bad next year, he might take a bit of a pay cut. Probably still want a lot though. Donato's contract's expiring, which the way he's playing right now, he's gonna want a bit of a pay raise. He probably want like $6 million for whatever contract, because he's a really, really good year. So he's gonna want a bit of a pay raise. He's only getting paid $2 million right now. KF has 1 year left on his deal. Bertuzzi has 3 years left on his deal. Nazar has 1 year left on his deal after this. Ivotevin has 2 years left. So yeah, I mean, Moore has 2 years left on his contract after this. Lano has 1 year left on his contract. So basically, most of the guys with Reichel, Schlager, and Maroon. Maroon's gone because he's already said he's retiring. Reichel has 1 year left on his contract after this year. Schlager is contract up, but they'll re-sign him because he probably won't want that much because he doesn't earn that much. So they'll just sign him up pretty early because he's on his 1-2. Vlasic has 5 years left on his deal. Legenov has 2 years left on his deal after this. Kaiser is expiring, but again, he probably won't want that much because he hasn't really earned that much money. Rangel has 2 years left in his deal after this year. Kuchensky has 1 year left in his deal after this year. And Murphy, same thing as Murphy. Hunter Knight has 1 year left in his deal after. Soderblom is an expiring contract. They might sign him up, or they're just going to rock with Brossois, which are likely going to let Soderblom walk and rock with Brossois and Spencer Knight as the 2 goalies next year. I don't know. They're going to have to see, though. But yeah, that's... Colorado Avalanche currently have $836 million in cap space, but they're projected to have minus negative $6 million. So yeah, they're not looking good when it comes to that. The draft capital's really bad. They do not have a first round pick, 0 second round picks, 0 third round picks, 1 fourth round pick, 0 fifth and 0 sixth round picks, 1 7th round pick. Next year, 0 first round picks, 0 second round picks, 0 third round picks, 2 fourth round picks, 3 5th-round picks, 0 6th-round picks, and 3 7th-round picks. And then 2027, they have 1 1st and 2nd-round pick, 0 3rd, 1 4th, 2 5th, and then 1 6th and 7th. So yeah, they have pretty bad draft capital. They're really against the wall when it comes to salary cap. So they're expecting to make a bit of a run, but if you within the next a year or two, yeah, because McKinnon has 6 years left on his deal. Duran is expiring contract. And Shukin has 5 years left on his deal. Brock Nelson, Jonathan Duran are all expiring contracts. Logan O'Connor's expiring contract. Ryan Lindgren's an expiring contract. They'll probably just let him walk. Malinsky's on a expiring contract. They'll also probably let him walk. Middleton's also an expiring contract. They might just let him walk because they're all pretty okay. I mean, they can replace them pretty easily. Josh Manson will probably just is injured, so it's Kiviranta and Johnson. So yeah, they'll probably just come in for. Well, Johnson's also an expiring contract. He's probably gonna leave because he's 37, so he might even just retire. Kiviranta's also an expiring contract. Josh Manson will just replace Lindgren. You're probably whoever walks. Blackwell's expiring contract. He probably want a bit of money, but they'll probably find a way to extend him and Wedgwood as 1 year left on its deal. After this year, obviously. The Columbus Blue Jackets projected cap space is $18.3 million. They have a lot of salary cap if they want to make any deals, free agent signings or whatever. This year they have 2 first-round picks, 0 second-round picks, a third, a fourth, a fifth. A third, a fourth, a sixth, and 2 seventh, and 0 fifth. And the next year they have a first-round pick, 2 thirds, 3 fourths, a fifth, 2 sixths, and a 7th, 0 second-round picks. And in 2027 they have a first-round pick, 2 second-round picks, 2 third-round picks, and then 4th, a 5th, a 6th, and a 7th-round pick. So they have pretty good draft capital too, honestly. So if they want to make a free agent signing this year, a couple of them, honestly, they could do that. You could do that. So watch out for Columbus if they want to make any deals this year. The Dallas Stars, current cap space is about $9.2 million, but they're projected to have minus $3.2 million. So yeah, they're also against the wall when it comes to salary cap. It also didn't help that Mikko Rantanen. They don't have very good draft capital. They don't have a first, second, or 4th-round pick this year. They do have 2 5th though. They don't have a first-round pick for next year neither. Also don't have a 3rd or 4th, but they have 2 7th, the actual 7th. They do have a first and a 2nd-round pick in 2027, but no 3rd-round pick, and then they have 1 pick of every other round. So Dallas Stars are very cap tight, but we're gonna see what they do with that. The Detroit Red Wings have about $18.7 million in cap space, rounding up there. And the projected have about $2 million in cap space there. So they have decent cap space, but they have some breathing room when it comes to cap space, but not much to spend. This year they have 1 pick for every single round, and then 2 in the 3rd and 2 7th, and then they have literally 1 pick for every single round for 2026 and 2027. So they have good draft capital across the board. Actually, a little bit of extra draft capital because they have 2 3rd-round picks and 2 7th-round picks this year. But besides that, they have 1 pick for every round for the next 3 years. Yeah, they're pretty good right now. Steve Yzerman has some room to work. Really good draft capital. Really, honestly, not excellent, but pretty dang good draft capital and some money, so they have some breathing room when it comes to salary cap. Edmonton Oilers have about $300,560 current $300,560 is the current cap space. They're projected to have about minus $1.1 million in cap space projected. They also have $5 million in LTIR. extra money. But this year for draft capital, they do not have a first, second, fourth, or fifth round. Next year they do not have a fifth round, and then the year after that they also do not have a fourth round. I meant to say, by the way, for 2026 next year, and in 2027 they also don't have a fourth round pick. They do not have a fourth round pick for at least the next 3 years. They do not have a first round pick for the next 2 years. They do not have a second round pick this year, and they do not have a fifth round pick this year. So, not the greatest draft capital. They spent most of the remaining salary cap on Leon Draisaitl's 8-year, 8-year, $14 million extension. Well, the Panthers, they currently have $7.7 million in current cap space, but they're projected to have like minus $400,000. Especially taking out Brad Marchand's contract also didn't help that. But for this year, they do not have a first, second, or third round pick. They have 2 fourth round picks, 2 fifth round picks. And next year they have 0 first round picks and 0 third round picks. And then the year after that, they do not have a second round pick, but they have 2 seventh picks. That's Florida. The LA Kings have about $1.2 million in current cap space, projected to have about $120,000 projected cap space. So they have some breathing room, but not very much. This year they do not have a second round pick, but 2 seventh round picks, and then the year after that they have literally 1 pick for every round. And then 2027 they have 1 pick per every round. Besides, they do not have a third round pick. Yeah, the Kings have some salary cap, but not a whole bunch to spend. Minnesota Wild currently have about $8.4 million in cap space, but projected to have minus $278,000. So they do have some cap space to work with. Honestly, they do. They have quite a decent amount of stuff to work with. They do not have a first round pick this year. They do not have a third US seventh round pick. They have a pick in every other round. Next year they have a first round pick. Do not have a second, but they have 2 fifth. And the year after that, they also do not have a second round pick. So they have okay draft capital when it comes to that. So that's a plus that they don't have terrible draft capital. So this year, Marco Rossi's contract is over, and he's probably gonna want a bit of a pay raise. Matt Boyd's locked up for 5 years, so that's good. Johansson also is pending UFA. Nyquist is a pending UFA, which he was more or less just a rental, so they're probably gonna let him walk. Shore is a pending UFA. He's probably just let him walk. You're not too worried about that. Justin Brazeau's a UFA, also probably just let him walk. Not too worried about that. The main people that worried about extending is Johansson and Rossi, especially Rossi. The first person on your priority list is to re-sign Marco Rossi, and then you can re-sign Johansson whenever the time comes. Brock Faber and Middleton are all extending. You need to extend Faber and Rossi. Those are the 2 guys you need to extend. You're gonna have some salary cap to work with, so you're gonna have to use that salary cap wisely and sign Marco Rossi, Brock Faber, and then if you're able to sign those 2 guys, whatever salary cap you have after those 2 guys make their decision on whatever you offer, you can try to sign Johansson and Middleton, and then also Merrill's the next UFA, and Fleur is gonna retire. So yeah, you also Joel Eriksson Ek, Kaprizov, Chisholm, and Knus. Should we say that all Eriksson Ek's an IR. Kaprizov then LTIR, and Chisholm's and that means I'm assuming he's healthy scratch, but he's hurt actually right now. Yeah, that's Wild's outlook right now. Canadians currently have about 6.2 or $6.7 million in current cap space, but they're projected to have about minus $3 million, so not looking good when it comes to salary cap. Actually, look pretty decent right now. When draft capital is really strong. They have 2 first round picks, 2 second round picks, 2 third round picks, and 2 fourth round picks. A 5th, a 6th, and a 7th round pick this year. Next year they have a first round pick, 2 second rounds, 1 third round, 2 fourth rounds, a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh. And then a year after that, they have 1 pick in every round. So yeah, they're cooking when it comes to that. They have really, really, really good draft capital. One of the best prospect pools in the entire NHL. And about $6.7 million in cap space. They are locked up for the future right now. They are looking to make big noise in the future. We want to talk about a team going complete and utter rebuild mode right now. Unlikely Predators. Yeah, they have about $71 million in cap space, projected to have about $7 million. They have so much salary cap right now, but their draft capital is good. They have 3 first round picks this year, ridiculous. 2 second round picks, a third, a fourth, a fifth, 2 sixth round picks, 0 seventh round picks. Next year they have a first round pick, a second round pick, 1 third round pick, 2 fourth, 2 fifth, 0 sixth, and then 1 seventh. And then the year after that, 2027, they have a first, a second, 2 thirds, 2 fourths, a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh. They have really good draft capital, actually, especially this year. And then against Leeds as the pending RFA, if I want to lock him up, Bellows is a pending UFA. They don't really talk, but against Leeds, so they would like to lock up for sure. Shea's locked up long term. Anana has 1 year left on his contract. Saros 4-4. Actually, they signed him to an 8 year contract. England does have an extending contract right now. You're a firing contract. There you go. But overall, the only person they really, really need to try to sign is against Alista. But besides that, they don't really have any expiring contract. If they want to go on a rebuild, they have the potential to do it. They really have the salary cap and draft capital to do it. New Jersey Devils, they have about $7 million in current cap space, but they're projected to have minus 760,000. Look at the draft picks. They have 0 first round picks this year. 2 seconds, a third, a fourth, 0 fifth, 2 sixth, and 0 seventh. Next year they have a first, a second, a third, 2 fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and 0 seventh. Then 2027 they have a first round pick, a second round pick, 0 third round picks, a fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh. Yeah, the Devils have about $7 million in cap space right now, projected to go minus 760,000, but they have some salary cap to work with right now and pretty decent draft capital. Now the New York Islanders, they have about $10.4 million in cap space, but projected to have about minus 2.8. The draft capital, they have 1 pick in every single round this year. Next year, they have 2 first round picks, 0 second round picks, a third, a fourth, 0 fifth, a first, and a seventh. And in 2027, they have 1 pick in every single round. Right now, Holmstrom's an expiring contract, so is Palmieri. So yeah, you probably like to sign those guys up, especially Holmstrom since he's only 23, but Palmieri's 34, so they could probably let him walk. Schilling is UFA, they could probably let him walk. Siplikov's an RFA. They really want to lock him up. He's only 5. He's really good. Get Comey would say that to RFA. They probably want to sign him up. He's also really young. Romanov, D'Angelo. They want to sign D'Angelo. Probably do a 1 year, 2 year extension. He's been pretty good. Dobson's RFA. That's bad. Romanov also RFA. Buchworth is a RFA. So yeah, they want to sign up D'Angelo for probably like about a 1 year, 2 year contract. They want to sign up Dobson for whatever he wants. Quest for whatever he wants, Romanoff for whatever he wants. So they do have quite a bit of expiring contracts. They have a lot of salary cap. They have about $10.4 million in current cap space. We'll have to see what they do with that cap that they have, right? New York Rangers have about $30 million in current cap space, but about $3 million in projected cap space. So realistically, they could make a move if they wanted to. This year they have 0 first round picks, so that does suck for them. They have a second, a third, 2 fourth, fifth, a sixth, and a 2 sixth and a seventh. In 2026, they have a first round pick. Do not have a second round pick. A third round pick. Does not have a fourth round pick. A fifth, a sixth, and a seventh. In the year after that, 2027, they have a first round pick. They do not have a second, a third. They do not have a fourth, a fifth, a sixth. They do have a fifth. They do not have a fourth. Actually, this episode's long, and I'm recording this late. Cooley's an expiring contract, but he's only 23. He's big. He's physical. They really want to sign him. That'd be great for the future if they lock him up. Lafreniere's a pending UFA. That's gonna be tough. He's probably gonna want like $7 or $8 million. It's gonna be tough to try to sign him up. Again, they have like $30 million in projected cap space. If they could sign him both of them up realistically. What just happened to my thing? I add block. Do not care. Obey Cabell by his walk. He's only 20. Maybe they could sign him so they can have him next. But want to sign Will Cooley and Lafreniere, which they could both sign. They can sign both of them up. Cooley probably wants about like $4 or like $5 million. Lafreniere probably wants $8 million. That'd be $13 million out of the dollars in cap space. Keandre Miller's expiring contract. People have mixed emotions about him. He probably want decent amount of money. You probably want like 5 or 6. You probably want like $6 million, probably like $7 million, maybe. Don't know what he wants, but Morgan's also expiring contract. They probably want to sign him. He's 28. He's been pretty dang good for them. Back in 9 is pretty decent. He's only 26. They might want to sign him. I don't know. Jonathan Clark's expiring contract. He might retire. He might go for another year. I don't know. Depends what he wants to do. Edstrom is also expiring contract. He's only 24. They might want to keep him. Rempe's expiring contract. So is Kaliev, Parison, and Jones, and also Kelvin DeHaan. So it's a lot of quite a bit of players there that are not currently playing. You're a healthy scratch, or just not playing very often that are need extensions. The Ottawa Senators currently have about $1.1 million in cap space, projected to have minus $223 million in cap space. So they don't have a lot of room to work. The players that they have are relatively young, so they can keep them. So good. The drafts pick summary here. This year they have a first round pick. They do not have a second, but they have a one pick in every single round besides the second. They do not have a pick. And then next year they have a first and a second round pick, 3 third round picks. They do not have a fourth, a fifth, 2 sixths, and do not have a seventh. And then the year after that they have one pick in every. Yeah, the Senators, they don't have much cap space, but they have good draft capital and mostly young guys in their team. So they're set up pretty well for the future, honestly. And they're looking to make the playoffs right now. They're looking like they will. So looking pretty good, honestly, for right now. Philadelphia Flyers currently have about $25.7 million in cap space, projected to have about $2.6 million in cap space, about $2.5 million in cap space. Technically rounding, it'd be down because never mind. So, about $2.5 million in projected cap space, 2.7, $25.7 million in current cap space. So they have quite a bit of cap space if they want. Matt Mitrikov also has back-to-back 2-goal games, so that's good. So he's developing well. This year they have 3 first-round picks, 4 second-round picks, a third-round pick, no fourth, no seventh-round picks, but 2 fifth-round picks and a sixth-round pick. Next year they have 1 pick in every single round besides a fifth, and they do not have a fifth-round pick. Next year, in 2027, they have 2 first-round picks, a second-round pick, 2 third-round picks, a fourth, a fifth, 0 sixth, and a seventh. Yeah, they have quite a bit of salary cap. About $25.7 million in cap space, and they have good draft capital. The Flyers are actually set up to if they do what they need to do, they could be looking in the right direction there. San Jose Sharks have about $88.5 million in cap space, projected to have about $8.8 million in cap space. They have so much cap space to do whatever they want. But the draft summary, I just realized it's over there. I didn't even have to go over the draft picks. That's fine. This year, they have 2 first-round picks, 2 second-round picks, a third-round pick, 2 fourth-round picks, a fifth, 0 sixth, and 1 seventh. Next year, they have 2 first-round picks as well, 2 second-round picks as well, 0 third-round picks, 2 fourth-round picks, 0 fifth or sixth-round picks, and a 7th-round pick. And in 2027, they have a first and a second-round pick, 0 third-round picks, a first-round pick, a fourth-round pick, 0 fifth-round picks for the second year in a row, and then a 6th-round pick and no 7th-round pick. So, overall, and they have a phenomenal prospect pool as well, so they're set up really, really well for the future as well. Yeah. Seattle Kraken have about $19.6 million in current cap space, projected to have about about $2 million in cap space. So they have a decent amount of salary. They have the salary cap to make some noise right now, but the projected have not that much, but quite a decent amount. This year in draft capital, they have a first round pick, 2 second round picks. They do not have a third round pick, 2 fourth round picks, a fifth, and a 7th. They do not have a 6th. Next year, they have 2 first round picks, a second, a third, 2 fourth round picks, do not have a 5th, a 6th, and 2 7th. In 2027, they have 2 first round picks, 2 second round picks, and then 1 pick in every other round after the second round. And then because the first 2 rounds, they have 2 picks each, and then they have 1 third, 4th, 5th, 6th, and yeah, the Seattle Kraken actually set up quite decently for the future when it comes to cap space and draft capital. We forgot about the Pittsburgh Penguins. They have about $30.5 million in current cap space, projected to have about $3 million in cap space. They have this year they have 2 first round picks, a second, 3 third round picks, a fourth round pick, 2 fifth round picks, a 6th, and a 7th round pick. Next year they have 1 first round pick, 3 second round picks, 2 third round picks. They do not have a 4th or 5th round pick, and they have 1 6th and 7th round. 2027 they have 1 first round pick, 2 second round picks, 3 third round picks, 2 fourth round picks, 5th, a 6th, and a 7th round pick. They have really, really good draft capital. Not sure what Sidney Crosby is gonna do. Let me load up the lines here and contract and stuff to see what I think will happen. Crosby, expiring contract. He'll probably sign for another year or 2, just to stay around and retire as a Penguin. And Redder McGordy's there for a while. Dewar probably get re-signed. Yeah, probably get re-signed. Timothy will probably get re-signed. Bemstrom, I probably don't even care about him, honestly. Grislick maybe get re-signed, depends on how much money he wants. Not the top of the priority list. Neither is kind of Timothy, probably get re-signed as well. Yeah, I don't know. They might want to go in a rebuild though, but we'll see how long Sidney Crosby and them sign for. What's Malkin? Is he hurt or something? I mean, not mean to do that. But what happened to Malkin? Why is he not on the lineup? And Malkin's he's hurt. Yeah, he's had another year left in his contract. Yeah. St. Louis Blues, but $10.3 million in cap space, projected to have about $1 million in cap space. They have like no draft capital. They have 1 first round pick. They do not have a second, third, fourth, or 7th round pick this year though. Next year they have a first round pick, do not have a second, and then they have 3 5th-round picks though. And in 2027 they have a first round pick, 0 second-round picks for the third straight year, a third round pick, 2 4th-round picks, and then a fifth or sixth. They're looking pretty decent. They have quite a bit. They have a decent amount of salary cap and pretty bad draft capital overall. But yeah, the roster's pretty good though right now. Not gonna lie. Timberlane currently have $84,598 in cap space, and the projected to have about $8,372 in cap space. A really little amount. They do not have a first round pick for at least the next 3 years. They have a second round pick in 3 straight years. They do not have a third round pick in 2025, but they do in 2026 and 2027. They have a fourth round pick in for the next 3 years. They have a fifth round pick this year, 2 in 2026, and 0 in 2027. They have a sixth round pick in the next 3 straight years, 4 seventh round picks this year, and then one for the next 2 years after that, after this year, 2 and 3 years respectively. So yeah, they're pretty good. They're looking pretty good, but they're definitely looking to make a run this year though. So yeah. Toronto Maple Leafs projected to have about 200. They currently have about 200,000 cap space, 2,000 cap space, but they're projected to have about minus $2.7 million in cap space. The draft capital, they do not have a first round pick for the next 3 years at least. They have a second round pick this year. They do not next year, but they do in 2 years. They have a third round pick for the next 3 years at least. They do not have a fourth round pick for this year or next year, but they do in 2027. They have 2 fifth-round picks this year, and then 1 in 2026 and 1 in 2027. They have a sixth round pick this year and next year, and 2 in 2027. Then they have a seventh round pick this year and in 2027, but they do not have 1 in 2026. So they're pretty okay on draft capital. Not really, do not have any first round picks for at least the next 3 years. Pretty mid on draft capital, and their salary cap's also pretty low, especially with the Mitch Marner and John Tavares. Also, yeah, they really want to figure out. Utah Hockey Club currently have about $77.9 million in cap space. Projected to have about $7.7 million in cap space. The draft capital is they have a pick in every single round this year besides the seventh. And then next year they have a first round pick, 3 second-round picks, 2 third-round picks, a fourth round pick, 2 fifth-round picks, a sixth and a seventh round pick. In 2027 they have a first, a second, and a third round pick, 2 fourth-round picks, 2 fifth-round picks, a sixth and a seventh round pick. So they have really good. They have Clayton Keller already, Nick Schmaltz, Sean Jersey, those guys already. They have a lot of salary cap. Really good draft capital. This team's future is looking really bright in Utah. For sure. Got 4 teams left. Let's go. Vancouver Canucks currently have about $27.5 million in cap space, projected to have about 2.7. The draft capitals, they have 1 pick in every single round this year. Next year they have a first and a second round pick. They do not have a third. They have a fourth, a fifth, a sixth. They do not have a seventh. And then in 2027 they have a first round pick, 0 second round picks, a third round pick, 2 fourth round picks, a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh round pick. So a lot of salary cap. Not a lot, but quite a bit of salary cap. Good draft capital and a pretty good future in Vancouver. 3 more teams to go now. Let's go. Big Golden Knights currently have about $2.1 million in current cap space, but projected to have about 200,000. So yeah, they have decent amount of salary cap, but not a lot to work with. They do not have a first round pick this year, but then they have a second, third, fourth, and fifth round pick. 2 6th-round picks, 0 7th-round picks. Next year, they do not have a first-round pick for the second year in a row. They have a second and a third-round pick, do not have a fourth, and they also have a fifth, a sixth, seventh-round pick next year. In 2 years, in 2027, they have a first and a second-round pick, two third-round picks, fourth, a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh-round. Yeah, they're pretty decent. Salary cap and draft capital. 2 more teams left. I'm really tired, so let's get this going. Washington Capitals currently have about $3.2 million in current cap space, but they're projected to have minus $13 million in cap space. Not looking good in projected salary cap, but right now they have salary cap. Um, this year they have a first, a second, a third, a fourth, and a fifth-round pick. Do not have a sixth or a seventh-round pick. And then 2026 they have a first and a second-round pick. Do not have a third-round pick. 2 fourth-round picks, and then a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh-round pick. In 2027 they have a pick in every single round besides the third round, which they do not have a pick in that round. The last team here is the Winnipeg Jets. Want to go over to that real quick. Let's see it here. Let's see it. Winnipeg Jets currently have about $13.6 million in cap space. Projected to have about $1.3 million in cap space. Draft capital, they have a first-round pick, do not have a second-round pick, a third-round pick, do not have a fourth-round pick, a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh-round pick this year. And next year they do not. They have a first-round pick, do not have a second, they have a third, they do not have a fourth, they have a fifth, a sixth, and a seventh. 2027 they have a first-round pick, do not have a second, have a third, do not have a fourth, a fifth, a sixth. They do have a fifth, a sixth, and exact same amount of picks for the next 3 years for now. But yeah, that's gonna do it for today's podcast episode. It was a long one, about an hour and 8 minutes. So yeah, have a good morning, afternoon, evening, night, whatever time you're watching this. Hope you enjoyed today's episode 7 of season 10 of